Welcome along. We're doing a really compelling deep dive today. We're going to explore just one source, but it's incredibly rich. It's titled The Storm of Thrain One-Eye. Our mission, really, is to pull out the key insights from this ancient tale. So to give you a shortcut to understanding its enduring wisdom. And this isn't just any old story, it's a proper saga, you know. A warrior, a prophecy, a life-changing encounter. At the center of it all is Thrain One-Eye. He's a Norse jarl, and his lost eye, amazingly, apparently gave him this unique vision, a view into the future. So get ready, we're heading right to the heart of a legend. Okay, let's unpack this. So let's set the scene. We're talking the far north, deep fjords, storms constantly rolling in, real atmospheric stuff. And this is the world of Thrain One-Eye, a pretty formidable warrior, lost his left eye fighting Saxon Lord, the story goes. But here's where it gets interesting. He claimed with just that one eye, he could see further than most men could with two. And his people, they totally bought into it. They noticed his gaze was always like fixed on the horizon, on things yet to come. He wasn't a king, remember, he's a jarl.
Leading this wandering band who followed the old ways. Raiders, glory seekers, they called themselves the Stormborn. Apparently they thrived when the weather was wildest. Thunder, huge waves crashing against the ships. That was their element. Okay, so picture this scene. It's autumn. Ravens are circling low, which is usually significant, right? And a skald that's a poet, a storyteller, brings news. The news is, way across the sea, in Ireland, there's this monastery, just loaded with gold relics. High walls, yeah, plenty of guards, sure, but inside, treasure fit for kings. So the Stormborn, his crew, they just howl with approval, ready to sail right then and there. But Thrain, he's different, just stroking his beard, muttering something. Gold weighs heavy, but fate weighs heavier. It's almost like he sees past the immediate shininess, isn't it?
Exactly. That's a really sharp observation. What's so striking, I think, is that despite this, obvious lure of wealth, Thrain's connection to omens, to fate, it just seems much stronger. It overrides that basic desire for plunder. He does agree to lead them in the end, but the source is quite specific about why. It says Odin's ravens had come to him in dreams, whispering about a storm that was meant to test his soul, specifically.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it really paints him as a leader guided by something deeper, Almost spiritual, not just chasing gold.
Right. It wasn't about what they wanted right then.
No, it was about his path.
Yeah.
His calling, you could say.
And what a path it turned out to be. The voyage itself sounds harrowing.
Well,
The source says it was long. The winds were brutal against their dragon-proud ships. And the sea. It describes it as heaving like an enraged beast. Just imagine.
intense imagery. And his men were apparently whispering that Thor himself was watching them.
Wow. For sailors, that's got to be significant, a potent sign.
Absolutely. But Thrain, he's described as totally stoic through all this, standing right at the prow, cloak whipping around him, his one eye like a burning coal.
Not joining in the usual stuff then. No songs, no ale.
Nope, just staring into that dark horizon, unwavering.
Okay, so they finally make it. They reach Ireland's shore, and the monastery is there, but it's shrouded in mist. You can hear bells tolling. It's like the monks are inside praying against the very storm, the Stormborn that's arriving.
Almost like they knew.
Maybe. And then the attack happens. Axes raised, the Stormborn hit them like thunder, walls splintering, shields shattering, the sounds of battle echoing through the halls, steel cries, the usual chaos of a raid.
But this is where the source really pivots, doesn't it?
Yes, right in the middle of all this slaughter, Thrain isn't seeing treasure, he's seeing destiny. And then this figure appears, a tall monk, hooded, carrying a staff made of ashwood.
Ashwood. Interesting detail, often linked to Yggdrasil, the world tree.
Right. And his eyes. They weren't filled with fear, they were burning with, knowledge.
And he speaks, but not in Norse. In a tongue the source says is older. The air itself trembles.
Yeah, and then he raises that staff.
And lightning splits the sky, crashing down right at Thrain's feet.
Just incredible. You can imagine the scene.
Oh, absolutely. His warriors, the Stormborn, they fall back terrified. I mean, wouldn't you?
Totally. But Thrain, what does he do?
His reaction is what makes the legend, I think. He stands his ground, his one eye gleaming, and he just roars out this challenge. If you are man, I shall break you. If you are God, I shall join you.
Wow. That takes guts.
It really does. And if we try to connect this to the bigger picture of these sagas, Thrain's challenge, it shows that unwavering spirit, that courage. And in these stories, that's often what gets the gods' attention.
That's a great point. Does that divine attention, though, does it come with a price tag in the source? Or is it just, a perk for being brave?
That's a really crucial question, actually. And here, the cost isn't like immediate punishment or anything. It's more like an immense burden, the weight of knowing what's coming.
Ah, okay. So the knowledge itself is the burden.
Exactly, because the monk lowers his hood. And it's not a man, it's a face veiled in shadow. Feathers. It's Odin, the All-Father himself.
Odin, in disguise. Just there to test his warrior.
Precisely. So Thrain isn't just dealing with some random powerful magic user. This is the top god, patron of warriors, of wisdom.
Makes the whole thing much heavier.
Absolutely. The prophecy that comes next isn't just some prediction. It's like a sacred duty, an inescapable fate handed down.
So Thrain, he must have recognized him instantly.
Seems so. He drops to one knee, right there amid the chaos.
And Odin lays the ash staff across his shoulder and delivers this prophecy.
Yeah, really profound one. Your fate is storm and fire, stark beginning.
You shall not die in this raid, nor in 1,000 like it.
So a kind of temporary invincibility, almost, but with a catch.
You will die when the sea swallows the sky and the wolves devour the sun.
Ragnarök, the end times.
Wow, talk about raising the stakes. And then Odin says, until then, lead my chosen.
His chosen people, the Stormborn, presumably, or maybe warriors like him in general.
So this is massive. What does this revelation, this prophecy, actually do to Thrain? To his identity, his destiny? How does it change him?
Well, it fundamentally shifts everything for him, doesn't it? He's not just a jarl after plunder anymore.
No.
He's now like an instrument of divine will, a figure tied directly to cosmic events. That prophecy gives him this almost unbearable burden, knowing his end is tied to the end of the world. Every raid, every battle after this, it's not just fighting. It's a step on that road.
He's living towards that specific, epic end, not just day-to-day survival.
Exactly. He's living towards Ragnarök, in a way.
So the vision fades, Odin's gone, the monastery is in ruins. What happens next?
His men, the Stormborn, they gather around him. They're just in awe, naturally, asking him, what did you see? What happened?
And Thrain.
He just gives this cryptic smile, the source says, with his scarred mouth, and answers, I saw tomorrow.
Chilling. Effective, though.
Very. And from that moment, he's changed. He's no longer just Thrain One-Eye.
Right. He becomes.
Thrain Stormseer, the warrior who actually spoke with the Allfather.
And that name carries weight. Every raid he leads after that feels different, imbued with this prophecy.
Definitely. Knowing he can't die in these fights, but also knowing what is coming eventually.
The source mentions that years later, men swore he still walked the seas, still leading raids.
Yeah, this enduring legend. But it adds a final touch.
Which is?
That nobody dared ask him how close Ragnarok had actually come.
Right.
The weight of that knowledge was his alone.
So that leaves us with this really interesting question, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It makes you think about that burden, the burden of knowing your ultimate fate. How does something like that shape you, especially if you're a leader, constantly in battle?
Yeah, does it make you fearless? Because you know this fight won't be the end.
Possibly. Or does it make you more cautious in other ways, maybe more focused on fulfilling that destiny?
It's that duality, isn't it? Invincible for now.
But bound to this huge apocalyptic future. It must have permeated his whole existence, every decision.
So there you have it. That was our deep dive into this incredible legend of Thrain Stormseer. A warrior whose meeting with a god didn't just change his path, it loaded every single action afterwards with the weight of prophecy. We've seen how losing an eye could, paradoxically, grant a kind of sight beyond the ordinary, and how fate itself can be both this heavy, heavy burden and maybe an undeniable guide. It really makes you think, consider this. If you were given a glimpse, a real look at your own ultimate end, how would that change how you live? Right now, day to day, would it empower you? Make you fearless like Thrain perhaps seemed in battle? Or would it just make you constantly watch the horizon, waiting for that specific storm to finally roll in? Something to ponder. Until next time, keep exploring those hidden depths of knowledge.